Hey guys, how you doing? Video 16 is here. This is a good one. This is something where you see a lot of guys just lock up in stores. Why? Because when they don't have a deal, or the deal starts to maybe go a little bit left, like as far as like shaky credit, they can't get a cosigner. So they end up letting the customer leave. Look, let me tell you this. I was the best in the world at pulling cosigners. Why? Because it's actually a skill. Let me explain this to you. If let's say I'm 30 years old and I've got 2 kids and I've got a grandma out there somewhere. I've got bad credit, I need a car for my kids, right? And I come into your dealership and I want to buy something. Well, the deal is that maybe I can't buy anything. And if that's the way it is, you say, well, Andy, do you have anybody that can cosign for you? I say, no, not really. And they say, you sure you don't have anybody? You're like, no, I don't have anybody. And then guess what happens? You say, okay, well, if you find somebody, call me and let me know. And that's the end of it. No. You know what I do? Let me ask you a question, okay? You love your children more than anybody in the world. Let me ask you this. Who loves your children second to you? Well, probably my mom. Okay? All right? Tell me about your mom for a minute. How much does she love your grandkids? How much does she love your kids? She loves them a lot. She'd do anything for them. Right. So she probably wouldn't give you money, right, to help you. Like, she probably wouldn't give you money. She's probably loaned you money before. Whether she has or hasn't, she probably wouldn't give you money. But let me ask you this. Would she do this? Would she do that? If she would do that, that's a signature. That right there could not only get you in your brand new car, but could have a good, reliable, safe vehicle for your children. So let me ask you a question. If you asked your mom for money, she'd probably say no. If you asked your mom to sign her name on a piece of paper to help you build your credit so your kids could have a car and her grandkids could be safe in a car, she'd probably do it. Would you agree? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. She's helped me before. She said she didn't want to help me again. I know what she said, okay? Let's do this, okay? Call her. Call her. Why? Because I'm going to take the phone. Does that person believe that the mom's going to co-sign? No. Who believes? Me. I'm the one who's going to sell the car and make the commission on the deal, right? Guess what you do? Dial the phone. I want to talk to your mother real quick. When you get on the phone, all I want you to say is, hey, Mom, I'm here at the car dealership. The guy here had a question he wants to ask you. Hand the phone. I'll say, hey, how you doing, Miss Johnson? This is Andy Elliott. Listen, I'm down here at ABC Motors. First of all, number 1 here, I got your daughter here. She's amazing. You did a good job raising your daughter. Secondly, besides your daughter, your grandkids are like triple amazing, okay? And obviously, I don't need to tell you that. You already know that. The problem is her tires are dead bald, okay? She needs $1,000 in tires, okay, on her car. She, doesn't have air conditioner. She doesn't have heater in her car. You know what I'm saying? It's breaking down. The engine's going out. Whatever the problem is why she's trying to trade out of it. I say that those problems are happening. I'm not asking you to pay $1,000 to fix her tires. I'm not calling you to ask you would you pay for a new engine so we can get her in a car. I'm not asking you to buy her a car. What I'm asking you is this. She's been qualified for a credit reestablishment program as long as she has somebody that will sign with her. It has to be a family member. And obviously, you being her mother, you care about the grandchildren. I wanted to ask a question. I don't need you to put any cash down. I don't need you to give any money. But if you could help her where she could build her credit for the next year so she would be on her own for the rest of her life, if we found an inexpensive enough vehicle with a very small payment, would you be willing to use your pen and give her a signature so she could help put the babies in a good, safe car? I'm going to tell you this. I have closed 80% of cosigners over the phone that way. And do you know why? Because it's the truth. They don't want to sign for their daughter, but they'll sign for the grandkids. You know why? Because that's what people do. That's what family's about. Everything is about presentation and it's about wording. You learn from me how to pull a cosigner and we're done. Now, let's say that we have a mom and a daughter and they're both sitting here together. Okay? And the daughter puts her credit in. They say, hey, she wants to buy it on her own. And then I come back and say, well, obviously the banks, there's a lot of risk involved because she hasn't had a loan or maybe she's got less than perfect credit. I would like to talk to you guys together and show you guys something because the bank actually gave us a really neat avenue to go. And that's when I'll flip over here and I want to show you this. This is how I ask for a cosigner. I'll make this simple chart. I want you to understand this. This is what I do. I always draw a line down the piece of paper and I draw a line across. And I say, I want to show you something. This is her by herself. Mom, this is her with you. Let me explain this to you. And I always go right here. This is an important sell point. I'm never going to ask you for money. The whole time we talk, not once will I ask you for money, Mom. I'll only ask you for this. Why would I ask you for that? Let me show you. When she buys a $15,000 car today, okay, on her own, it'd be the same $15,000 car with you signing with her. At a 21% rate on her own name versus a 4% rate with you helping her, she would have a shorter term, right, where she could get a little more term with you helping her because the banks would be flexible. She would end up having a $409 payment. This is what your daughter would have. This is how her face would look, but she would actually probably get a car. Maybe. With you helping, she could have a $236 payment, and this is what she would look like on the daily. Let me explain this to you. Same price, just changing up the rate. I cut your payment literally in half almost. I want you to think about this. Obviously, she's your daughter. You love her to death, okay? I want to tell you, if she could buy a mortgage for $1,500 a month, right? But then also you could sign with her and she could have a mortgage for $500 a month. Would you want her to waste $1,000 a month on that? No. And the way credit works is your credit's only as good as the way you pay your bills today. So our goal is to have her start building her credit today, and over the next year, have her build her credit up. And guess what happens? When she builds her credit up, over the next year, year and a half, she's going to refinance this car, take your name off it, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And also on top of that, the one thing you can't do with money, even if you wanted to give me money right now, and you go, Andy, I don't want to do that, I just want to do this. I would say the banks aren't interested in your money. The banks are interested in having you help her establish some history of good payments. So with that being said, here's what I'll tell you. Obviously you care because you're here with her now, okay? The difference between a $410 payment and $236 is a lot of money. So what I'd like to show you is that this is how we can cut her payment in half. Doesn't this seem like something you can do? Yes. And I would like to give you guys an example. Watch this little twist here. So, ma'am, you and your mom, I'd like to give you an example. There was there were some customers in here 2 days ago that were identical to you. Identical. There was a mom and a daughter. Matter of fact, they even looked like you guys. They could have been your family. Long story short, the mom didn't want to sign for the daughter, okay? And the daughter, right, asked the mom very nicely if she would please help her because she needs credit for the rest of her life. She said, Mom, you can give me money, I'll just spend it. Okay? You can give me things, I probably won't be grateful for it. But I can tell you one thing, if I have my credit, I can actually get on my own. For once in my life, I can get on my own. And I'm going to tell you this. With a simple signature, your daughter can get on her own. That mom signed for her daughter, and I'd like you to do the same thing for yours. How many daughters do you have? How many sons do you have? Please help. Every time, you will pull cosigners. Guys, I've got the script right here. It's all here. When I flip it open, it's all here. Everything that we have for you in this course is easily built. It isn't about the length of the video. It's about actually the physicalness of watching me present it to them. And guess what? If you guys are on the other side of this right now and you're thinking, man, okay, hold on. How did he say that again? Whoop. Do the course over again. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, draw the chart. This is you with you and your cosigner, okay? Let me tell you this. This is how life's going to look for you. It's going to be half the payment. So guys, this video is about how to pull a cosigner. I never in my life want you, listen, I'm going to tell you this. How did I make $700 grand a year selling cars? I never missed a car deal. Why? Because I was the best at pulling cosigners. I was the best at selling. I was the best. I was like, I mean, look, there's all these little categories. We'll call these the 21 areas, right, of this whole video. Let me ask you this. Out of the 21 sections we're going over, are you going to be good at 5 of them? Are you going to be good at all 21 of them? When you're deadly at all 21 of them, guess what? You will be the best salesman in your state. Guaranteed. Promise you. Nobody will be able to beat you. And by the way, go ask anybody else in your store. Say, hey, how do you pull for a cosigner? They say, well, what do you mean? Say, how do you pull for a cosigner? I say, well, just ask them, do you have somebody that can help you? Explains a lot. Learn this right here, guys. You'll make tons of money. Rock and roll, guys. Video 16. I'll see you in video 17.